everybody. Um, Thank you, Dave. I know he already introduced my wife and daughter who are here, but Courtney and Casey, it's awesome having you here. And if I didn't mention you, I'd be that guy that didn't mention you, and I don't want to be that guy. But Courtney is our rock. She's a coach's wife to the core. She's been around every locker room. She's been a part of every huddle. Not an easy path, but a incredible journey. And so I'm super just grateful for you. And Casey and the Brennan kids, two of them are in college now, but the youngest one's still in high school. And I think this is, he's so excited about this. And he's also sitting there going, shoot, I'm 16 and now I got to leave my friends and family. Or people here. So Scotty, I hope you're watching. Love you. I really want to thank President Robbins and Dave Hickey for giving me this opportunity. Like, my excitement about being here is over the top. I haven't really walked around here in a long time. A couple years ago, we were here for the bowl game, and this building had not been renovated yet. It looks nothing, or it looked then nothing like it looks now. The thing is unbelievable. I had no idea of just the commitment to facilities and the upgrades that have happened here, from Dave and from President Robbins and from like an incredible amount of donors and people that care at a really high level to build something really special here. And so I've been walking around today with a member of my staff who's coming over with me from San Jose State, Ben Thenis, and it's been awesome. It's like we are really excited about just how welcoming everyone has been and how amazing just walking around the university is and seeing these upgrades. It's been 20 years since I've really walked the campus, right? So got a chance to meet Coach Lloyd today, which was awesome. So there's just a lot of really cool things, and I'm really grateful for the reception. I say all these things because I think people make the place special, and I'm absolutely all about people, and that's what has been really cool. It's just the outpouring of love and affection that I felt from everybody here in town, the community, everywhere, social media, whatever. It's the outpouring of well wishes and people excited about us being here. Nancy, I can't even look at you right now, but the impact that I know that Dick and Nancy had on this university, but really on my path, it's embarrassing a little bit. I don't think very often in your life, when you work, you think about somebody every day, like somebody, but that's what Coach Tony's been for me. He's been the guy that every single day I think about, what would Coach T do here? Coach T would kill you for what just happened in this game. That kind of stuff. We just love you and we miss him. And again, people make the place, and Dick and Nancy made this place home for a long time, and obviously did a lot of incredible things with the football program. I started as a GA here in 2000, and I shared a supply closet with Dave Fitt, who's currently, Wildcat, free safety, strong safety, tough guy. One of the, I would say one of the real Tommy guys, right? Walked on, did it the hard way. He's now special teams coordinator for the Detroit Lions. And so I had this awesome moment. It was yesterday morning. I knew I was coming here. And I called him. I went for a walk like 5 a.m. in Los Gatos, California, this little small town we live in. And he picked up the phone. He's getting ready for a big game this week. He picked up the phone and he immediately started screaming. And his choices of words I can't repeat, but it was so exciting. We just had this incredible moment where we're both like screaming at 5 a.m. in Los Gatos, which you don't know, sometimes that can get the police on you pretty fast, but it was just this incredible moment because he and I sat closer than this in the supply closet in the old offices. At the time, my wife and I were newlyweds, and there's just been lots of life since then. 3 amazing kids, all kinds of football journey. We were with another Arizona legend, Rich Ellerson, at Cal Poly for 4 years when we left here, and then we left Cal Poly and we're at San Jose State with Coach Tomey and Mike McIntyre for the next 6. And the experience of having that much time with Coach Tomey was really special. And just the toughness and the enthusiasm, but so much of how I'm built is because of what he instilled in me. And really, it starts with the players. It starts about loving your players and caring about your players. It's about player first. I mean, person first, player second. And that's how I built every program or every position group that I've ever been a part of. And then went to Oregon State with Mike Riley, and Mike was an awesome head coach and a really successful head coach. And I learned so much from Mike, and I was there with him for 4 years and Gary Anderson for 2. But all these people had a real impact on my process and on my development as a coach, but none other than Coach Tomey. Because even when I was away from him, I always heard from him. And I'll tell you all a funny story. So I get the head job at San Jose State. And if I'm going too long, Dave, give me the hook.
Hey, whoa, this is your day. This is your day.
All right. So we're at San Jose State. And Coach Tomey had this saying that you're either coaching it or allowing it to happen. Okay? Some of you in the room have heard that before. And so we had just lost to Hawaii. It's my first year at San Jose State. And I see Brandon Sanders over there nodding his head on that coaching it or allowing it to happen phrase. So in the game, we're playing, and it's a close game in the fourth quarter, and it's my first year, and we're not very good. We're still trying to get it on track. And we are down 2, and we intercept or we give up a touchdown, and they kick it off, and we score. We return a kickoff for a touchdown. But from 10 yards, maybe 20 yards out, maybe Ben, 20 yards out, one of the lead blockers and the returner high-fived all the way down the sideline as they scored. And then they got in the end zone, and there was like this big choreographed end zone celebration. Okay, so long story short, we lose a game. And I'm standing in front of the tunnel in Aloha Stadium, and I see Coach Tomey walking towards me. And when you were in trouble with Coach Tomey, he walked with you with like a little bit of a forward lean. And I knew I was in trouble. Like, think about it. It had been like 15 years since I'd worked for him. And I still knew I was in trouble, right? And so he's walking, and I'm talking to the media. And so I'm trying to finish up because I see it and I know what's coming. And so I finish up with the media, and I immediately start backpedaling into the tunnel. Coach Tomey, so he's there, and I immediately say to him, Coach, I'm sorry. I know the penalty thing was embarrassing. It cost us the game. And he said, don't apologize to me. Get your ass back in that locker room and you apologize to your team, because you're either coaching it or allowing it to happen. And I was like, okay. And so he just always had all these lessons for me, and they never stopped. And it was really cool because they continued when I got to be a head coach. And so 7 years at San Jose State as the head coach, I felt great about what we did there. I was really fortunate. I had great administration. I had 3 presidents, and they were all fantastic. The first president, Dr. Papazian, she believed in me when no one else did. I was an assistant coach at Oregon State, and she saw something in me that no one else had before her. And I'm forever grateful for her. And I worked for good athletic directors and good ADs, and they gave us a chance to build a real program there, which was really, really rewarding. Again, the people make the place, and I'm really grateful for all those people and all those coaches that impacted my journey, but really all the players and coaches too. I worked with a lot of people on our staff, and the amount of players that have reached out to me, current players that I coach or players over the last 25 years, that's been an overwhelming thing for me, just the people's outpouring of love and support and excitement for this opportunity for us. And so, when I look at the opportunity here, all I can say is that I am incredibly honored to be the head coach at the University of Arizona. This is just an amazing moment for me, and I'm trying to get to know the team. I absolutely believe we can build a consistent winner here. You have everything. We have everything you need to do that. And as I'm getting to know the kids, and I've been, in the weight room, in the locker room, and in the dining hall, and in the indoor, make sure I got all the right facilities there. These players love this place, and they're really committed to each other. And so I have to be ultimately committed to them, but also putting a great staff around them, which I'm in the process of doing. That's one of the more complicated things of taking a job. But I promise that we're going to have great leaders, mentors, and developers of talent in this, in the building to help them get where they want to go and elevate our program as high as we possibly can. I think lots of schools talk about family, and I think it's a cliche thing in the football world. I don't think anybody did it better than Coach Tomey here. When I'm seeing all these former players, my brother was a former player, and how they still interact and the outpouring of love that I've gotten from them since this has all gone down. And that's what we are going to continue to do. We are going to double down on family, double down on loving each other and caring about each other, and we will build something you can all be proud of.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good stuff.
We're going to open up for questions. We have mics to bring to you, so if you raise your hand, we'll get them in order. I saw Justin and Michael Lev go up first. Please introduce yourself and your outlet. David Kelly third. When starting your question for Coach Brennan or for Dave.
Justin Spears from the Arizona Daily Star. Brent, welcome to Tucson.
Thank you.
What can you say about just your time here in Arizona, and do you have any fond memories of it?
Oh shoot, absolutely. It was it was a fun time because Courtney and I got married. We got married while we were here. I think we took the job in March. It was Coach Tomey's last season here, so it was also like a welcome to college football. Just how challenging and hard and complicated it can be. But I was a graduate assistant. She was paying the bills as a high-powered pharmaceutical sales was the job then. Our big date night was the Wildflowers. Is that right? That was our big date night. It was really fun because it was also special because at the same time my brother was playing for us, and the staff was so special, right? Like that's Rich Ellerson, Dwayne Aquina, Dave Phipp, Dino Babers, Rob Ainello. I mean, just a lot of really great. Lisa Bravo, I saw her in the building today. Just that part of it. I think that's such an important part. Coach Tomey was really good at that. I think we're really good at that, is making sure the environment is someplace that everybody wants to come to work every day and be there with people that you care about and are willing to invest the amount of time and effort that it requires to be good at football. And gosh, we had a great time. It was a great time here. Yeah.
And then what can you share with us about the team meeting, the players' reaction, and what you're expecting the roster potentially look like this upcoming season?
Okay. It's a lot of questions in one.
There's a lot there. I'll say it was a good day. It was a good announcement. I mean, I'll let you think about all those questions that were in the middle of that. But hey, it was great. It was great to stand in front of the team and present it. Coach, they're excited. I know it was a really positive environment, and I know I've had a lot of really good feedback. So.
I was just really honest with them. That's how I operate, And so I get it. Like they're a little bit hurt, right? Like it's tricky like that. And the reason I can say that is because I just did that to a team yesterday. Right? Like yesterday morning before I got on the plane to come down here, I had to meet with the team in San Jose State. It was really, really hard, really, really emotional. And, if you do build it right, and if your team is connected on a level that gives you a chance to be successful on Saturdays in the fall, they are going to be super connected. So when a piece of it leaves, there's going to be some fallout, right? And so I was just honest with them. I just asked them to give me a chance to earn their trust, to treat each other with respect, and the trust will be earned over time. And then I promised them I'd surround them with a great coaching staff and people that care about their development and who they are as men.
Go to Michael Lev and then David Kelly.
Yes. Hi, Brent. Michael Lev with the Arizona Daily Star. First, a question for both of you. Can you describe kind of what the last 48 to 72 hours have been like? Things have changed in college football. These hires are happening so fast.
It's been fun.
It's awesome and insane at the same time.
I think, again, from my perspective, look at, we were faced with a challenge. Obviously, it's a different kind of timing to a degree. But quickly for me, it's about what are we going to do? How are we going to make the best decision possible for the student athletes that we have in the program? And how are we going to maintain the high level priority that we have for Arizona football? And, again, many people know I was lodged in the Great North for a little bit and got stuck there, but it actually provided some clarity. Wasn't in the middle of the frenzy, so it allowed me to talk to a lot of people, clear a lot of the deck really quick, and then begin discussions really fast. So things move fast. I think that's just the nature of it, and it's been, it became pretty clear as I kind of cleared the deck where I wanted to go, and then the conversation started really and put it together.
Well, it's sort of in that same vein, Brent, how quickly do you think you can get your staff together, and are you in a position right now where you can name any names you guys work on?
I'm still working on that, and I think the one thing that I'm most excited about is I do think I have a decent commitment from Dwayne Aquina to continue to be part of this, which is exciting. And just the teacher he is, the person he is, the leader he is, I'm excited about that. And so the other pieces are still moving, and I do think that my priority since I've gotten here is a balance of trying to get to know this team and spend some time around the team and meeting one-on-one with some of the players, and then also meeting with some groups of players, because I'm just trying to get to know them, but more importantly, I'm trying to give them a chance to get to know me, because like I mentioned, they're kind of in a tough spot, and with the way the rules are now, right, like anyone can leave at any time, and so that's just the nature of college football. And so how quickly can I start to get to know them, how they can get to know me, and we can start to build a connection and believe that the best way to move forward is right here at the University of Arizona.
Go front here, David, and then Jason in the middle.
Brent, David Kelly from Wildcats Radio 1290. Two questions. How would you describe the disappointment of not getting this job 3 years ago? And then in terms of coming here now, what was the first lesson that they told you?
Well, I think when we were here, 23 years ago, we really liked it. We thought, we knew it was a special place, kind of a place you always hoped you could get back to somehow. You don't always know how that works, and you don't always know if you're going to have a chance to in the profession. But 3 years ago was a tricky one. I was certainly disappointed, right? The place, you guys know how special it is. If you guys didn't think it's special, you guys wouldn't all be here. You know what I mean? The place is really special. So there was disappointment, but there was also, I had to get a team ready. It's like the middle of COVID. I had to get a team ready for a bowl game. It was we were laughing about it last night. There's just a really messy week in terms of our team, San Jose, all those things. And but the truth of the matter is, I think I was at a great place and I had a great job, and this was a great place that I was interested in, that I had a chance to interview for. And I think if you want to talk about Coach Tomey, the harder it gets, the better we play. Okay, I didn't get it, but I need to keep doing a good job at San Jose State, so that some point down the road I might have a chance to go back there. And that's what I thought of.
And the first lesson you taught you?
The first lesson he taught me? Oh, man. Yeah, the team. Yeah, thanks. That's why she's here. All right. Courtney Brennan, let's go. All right, bitch. You're hired. But yeah, absolutely. It's always about the team, which I know is a Bo Schembechler, part of Coach Tomey's journey was, GAing for him. And so, but and I think that's a hard thing to create in today's college football. I think that's one of the things that gets most challenging, because you have, this guy's making more money than this guy's thinking about going, this guy's thinking about staying. It is complicated, but I think the guys that you see having the most success are the guys that do a great job at building the team.
Jason in the middle, then we'll go Troy in the front.
Hey, Coach, Jason Shearer, Wildcat Authority. Have you had that moment? I know it's been a whirlwind. Have you had that moment you kind of reflecting of, man, I'm at Arizona? Like that one moment where you're like, okay, I'm the head coach of Arizona.
Yes, I have. I had it this morning. I was walking with Ben Thenis, who's coming over here with me from San Jose, and we got off the elevator in the wrong place in the building. And we ended up outside, and we walked out on the concourse there, and on the Jumbotron, it was that picture, and it says, welcome, Brent Brennan, head coach. And I'm just looking at the stadium. The sun was kind of coming up. It's this awesome moment. And yes, that was it. I was like, oh my God, let's go. Like, I was so stoked. Ben and I were laughing, and then we walked over to the cafeteria and met some of the players and got a cup of coffee. But that was kind of that moment for me. Even though the picture's funny, when I see this picture, it looks like I'm upset about something. I actually smile quite a bit when I coach. And so this looks like it's the end of the game and we're getting our butts kicked, and I'm like trying to figure out this scenario there, but I'm just kidding. That was it for me.
And then one more, in terms of coaching philosophy, coaches that are hands-on on offense, defense, kind of oversee everything. How would you describe your overall approach?
I care about the man first, and that's where it starts with me, because I really think if we help them be stabilized in their academic and personal life, the football takes care of itself. I really believe that. And lots of times when kids are disorganized academically or making bad choices socially, that creates chaos in the football life. And really, at the end of the day, for so many of these young people, football is the driver. Football is what they care most about, right? So how can I help them get their stuff together academically? How can I make sure they're on a good path that way? How can I give them the resources, the people, and the opportunities for their personal life to be stable, right? And then let them grow and thrive under great coaching and great support from the head coach and from the position coaches.
We have Troy in the middle, and then Brett Brennan after him.
Hi, Coach. Troy Hutchison, GoEasyCats.com. College football, a lot of it is recruiting and kind of being the lifeblood of a program. What is your philosophy behind that, and how do you see recruiting at Arizona landscape?
I think this place has everything you need to recruit absolutely high-level talent. And I think we'll be based developmentally and try and be smart about the portal. It's an interesting time, like you said, because the portal is given people a shot at free agency, and then you combine the portal and name, image, and likeness, and you have people basically, whoever has the most money is becoming transactional almost, without any guardrails from the NCAA, the world, the state, the government. It's really an interesting time that way. So my belief is that this has always been a developmental program, and that your best players are playing as they get a little bit later in their years, and that's when you have a chance, when you can build a team with some consistency and you do a good job of managing the roster, that you can actually keep a consistent, sustainable, winning process. But you got to bring in the right people, and the portal's part of that, right? But it's, in my mind, it's more of a spot fill, and it's need based. So we really need this position. We better go out and get one. And so I think that's what can work here. But in terms of the facility, how we support our players, the academic resources, Tucson, the town, campus life, what more can you ask for?
We'll go to Brett Brennan next, and then in the back we'll go Matt, Damian, Jordan. Stay back there.
Brent Brennan, Arizona Daily Star. You mentioned to David's question about 3 years ago in that process. I'm not trying to lead you, but can you speak to your perspective of how intriguing this was, considering how different of a place the program is today than it was 3 years ago, coming off the successes of this past year compared to a difficult ending to the prior regime when the search was happening in, I guess, 3 seasons ago?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a great time to be here because of what Jed and staff did, right? They had a fantastic season. What these players did, right? That was really fun to watch. I'm married to a Wildcat alum, right? So we watch Arizona football when I'm not coaching on Saturdays. That's part of it. But I think it's absolutely in a great place, especially when you look at the way the facility has changed in those 3 years. Because I walked in the locker room today to go talk with some of the players, and I was here in 20 for the bowl game, and it's night and day. So the people that have given the money and donated and been involved on a high level to make that building so nice and so efficient, and that part of it is awesome, because there's part of it where young people are, when they come on your campus, where they just ask themselves, where am I going to spend the most time? Well, they're going to spend the most time in the football facility. So how does that space feel to them, right? And so I think this is a better time to take that job because of the recent success and because of the players that are in the room that are so committed already, right? So that's going to be in great alignment with how I'm going to want to build it. And then I think Dave and President Robbins have like put so much support behind it, and the donor base so much support behind it that's given it a chance to elevate it.
Matt, Damian, Jordan in the back.
Hi, Brent. Matt Robinson with KBOA. Welcome to Tucson.
Thank you.
You touched on player development just a little bit, but coaching receivers under Mike Riley and then getting 7 years to run your own program. What's your philosophy on building a player from his freshman year to his senior year to get the best chance at the NFL?
That is a big question. So I think it starts with, recruiting the right young people. I think there's a certain contingent of young people coming up right now that they like getting recruited. They don't necessarily like playing football. I think there's it's fun to get 20,000 likes and retweets because you had a nice one-handed catch in your 7-on-7 thing. But we all know how hard it is to catch the ball one-handed, right? And so you see that with young people. I think always starting with the player or the person first, right, and really investing in his process here. But if we're going to talk about receivers, right, you have to recruit someone who has the talent and then also has the love of football, right? And then to get them to the NFL, that's a combination of talent, scheme, and development, right? And I think that's one of the things over time that, in our experience at San Jose State, that we were really fortunate where, we took a lot of tweeners, we took a lot of guys that were, not recruited on the highest level, and all of a sudden we're winning the conference, or we're playing for the conference championship, or we're playing meaningful games late in November, which we hadn't been doing the previous, it had happened. I think when we got there, we'd had 3 winning seasons in 30 years. So, the developmental piece is an everyday thing, but it also comes with recruiting the kind of player that wants to be that committed to get to that level. Because if I took Arizona's team here, or San Jose State, I thought I knocked my water over. San Jose's team, and I said, raise your hands, who wants to go to the NFL? Every person in the room would raise their hand, right? And even the guys that don't play, right? And think that's like such an unrealistic thing, right? Like, I'm like, dude, you don't even play here. Like, huh? But it's those ones that like demonstrate that they're that committed. Those ones that demonstrate day in and day out that they're willing to work that hard. And we've been really lucky to coach a lot of NFL players over the last 25 years. But I think any coach that's coached an NFL player would tell you that guy was an insane worker and just supremely committed. And then you match that kind of high-level commitment with high-level talent, and now you're in the top 0.5% in the world. Right?
Damian and then Jordan back.
Right here, Damian Alameda, 13 years. Welcome back to Tucson.
Thank you.
Following up on a point that you made earlier, how do you foster a culture of team in this current era of college football?
We worked really hard at that over time, and honestly, Coach Tomey was a lot of the foundation for that. Not just the team, but like Coach Tomey was the first head coach I was ever around that actually did like active team building, and got like football players together and in small circles and breakout sessions and talking about really intense stuff. And what it did was it built connection, right? Like guys found common ground, and over the years, I've sat in so many of those circles, and it's amazing because in order to play for each other and to really put in the work that it takes to be good at football, like they have to care about each other, right? And how do you get them to care about each other? They have to know each other on a deeper level. It can't just be like, what's up, dude, in the locker room. It's not enough. And so you have to get them talking about real stuff so they get to know each other. And so we've done a bunch of team building, a lot of really fun exercises. At San Jose, we've done them on Friday nights before a game with the team, we've also done them, throughout the whole off season. And it's Nancy, I would say it's a collection of. It started with Coach Tomey stuff, but over the years, I've talked to lots of other head coaches and built it out from there. And it's been a really good thing for us in terms of the guys getting to know each other, because it is getting harder to do that. It is getting harder, but I think also if the person up in front is ultimately committed to it, it has the best chance for it to be successful. And that's what I am.
Go to the back to Jordan and then Mr. Hanson after that.
I coach Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. How did you grow as a coach after you didn't get this job 3 years ago that made you ready for this time around?
I think it was, at the time I wasn't really looking at it in terms of how it would play out with the chance at another shot at Arizona. It was really trying to get better at San Jose. And that year was the first winning season that we'd had, and we won the Mountain West championship. And so then that was like, how do I sustain that? Like, how do we find a way to be sustainable at San Jose? Because so this year, 22 and 23, this was the first back-to-back winning seasons since 91, 92, and I think that's right. And so coming out of 20, like we went 5 and 7, and it was a massive learning experience for us because we're like, okay, where did we not? And what I learned in that time is that after that successful year, like I needed to like push harder. And I thought because we had the 6-year seniors and the COVID babies that, that those guys would carry the weight, right, of that. And they knew what it took, but they didn't. And so that's something I had to fix. And then the next few years have been, we got to that back-to-back winning seasons. But that was, it was more about how do I fix how do I help San Jose be better than we've been in the past. And that's what I got the most out of that time.
Go to Greg Hansen, go over there, and then last call for questions for Dave or for.
Brent Brennan, Arizona Daily Star. At what time in your younger life did you decide to follow a coaching path, and how important was Terry Donahue doing that?
So you're hitting me with all the good ones today. That's Coach Tomey, Coach Donahue. Golly. So Coach Donahue was such an awesome part of my life, and he's obviously Hall of Fame, legendary coach, and actually super close with Coach Tomey. They were all there at UCLA together. But the cool thing about Coach Donahue is that he was a guy who was around the players in the locker room. You saw him all the time. I think at that place, I felt like with him, like the magnitude of the job and managing that in LA was really interesting to watch. And then, but you always knew he cared about you, and that continued my adult life. Coach Donahue would, when he was still with us, I would hear from him once a month, every other month, and he was just checking in. It wasn't anything more than that. Just, hey, how's it going? How are you? Didn't matter where I was. How are the receivers? How's Coach Tomey? Just whoever I was with, and that was like, who does that? Who reaches out to people? I've been gone for 15, 20 years from UCLA, and so Terry Donahue was just an incredible man, and we miss him just like we miss Coach Tomey.
Go to Jenna Fink in the back for the next question, and then Justin back to you.
Jenna Fink from KBOA, welcome to Tucson, and we've seen you've had less potentially resources at San Jose State. So what type of opportunity do you have here with, like you mentioned when you were walking around all of the building changes and stuff, what kind of opportunity does that give you here?
Well, I think, if you're taking care of your players, just like fundamental needs, right? Like, are they well fed? Like just, do they have academic support? Do they have coaches and mentors that care about them? Like that, those things helps build just healthier young people. And so that's one of the things just walking around here in conversations I've been having with my wife and the other people that I've been walking around with, just so many important things are in place that is the consistency of that for those young people when they get here and their growth. Like it's all here, right? You're not having to build it. Like we just finished building a football facility at San Jose State, and it took 7 years to build it. You know what I mean? All these things are in place. And also when recruits come to on campus, they look at where am I going to spend the most time, and like how is it going to be living in that building, or how's it going to work being in that space? And I think lots of times the players, young people buy with their eyes, right? And so when they see a commitment to facilities like this, and they see the indoor, and then I'm like, indoor? Like, we practiced when I was GA in here, we were in the sun. It was hot every day, but when I saw that, I was like, wow, like this place is like, it's just, everything's here. And so I think that part of it is just really impactful for the kids you're trying to develop and the kids you're trying to attract.
So Justin and Brian next, and then Craig in the back.
Brian, can you list the number of people or former players who have reached out to you since you've taken the job, and how do you reflect on your brother's career?
Tear jerkers, man. All right. So I'm currently sitting with like 1,280 something text messages since yesterday, since like seriously like 8 a.m. yesterday, or whenever the new word started to get out. So I have not responded to all those people, there's been lots of Wildcats that have reached out too, right? I've heard from Keith Smith and Ortiz Jenkins and Bobby Wade, and kind of my brother's generation type guys, D Hall. That's been fun for me to reconnect with some of those people. Brad's career here was like, I think, incredibly special, and because I had played for Homer Smith was the offensive coordinator at UCLA when I was playing, and Homer was such a incredible teacher. Those of you that got a chance of spending time with Homer, like super smart and like really creative and unique in how he taught football. And he found all kinds of exciting ways to teach or to make a point. Like he flew 4 Air Force jets over our practice at UCLA to show our quarterbacks and our running backs how to work proper pitch relationship. And yeah, it was crazy. He's like, see, you never leave your wingman. Like he stopped practice, right? So Homer came here after to work with Coach Tomey after he left UCLA, and so I reached out to him and I said, hey, I think my younger brother's a pretty good player. He doesn't have much going right now. Would you look at him? And so he looked at me, and so they had agreed to let him come when school started. And we were up on our family vacation up at Donner Lake, and they got a phone call, and they said he can come to camp if he's here tomorrow. And guess who was there tomorrow? Brad. He was excited about it, and the rest is kind of storybook, with the culmination of him sitting on the goalpost after beating ASU. That picture has circulated a couple times lately. My own players at San Jose thought that was insane because I had it in my office. They're like, "Who is that? Your brother? Like you would kill us?" Yep. Yeah, I would. I think that's another part of that evaluation thing, right? Like I think sometimes people in the recruiting space are like, we can only go portal, right? Or we can only go JC, or we can only go high school. And like scholarship players are the only ones that can contribute, which is insane. Some of the best players you've ever had here have been walk-ons. Some of the best players I've ever coached in my life have been walk-ons, right? And Brad was able to have this incredible journey on some really great teams, right? Like, those years there were some really fun years, and it was fun for our family to be a part of it. He's excited. I don't know if he's here right now, but he's in town, so he is over the top fired up.
So Brian, we'll wrap it up with Craig in the back.
Brian Peterson with Beason Visits One. Can you give us a little insight into the genesis of Swaggy B, and do you anticipate that continuing here at Arizona?
The things we do for social media. So during the summer camp, I don't know if that 2 or 3 years ago, there were lots of players that were coming to camp, and they didn't look like they were ready to participate. They looked like they were like coming for like a photo shoot. So they would be at practice, like we're evaluating whether we think you're good enough or not to come play for us at that time at San Jose State. And they were showing up in pajama pants and like big Viper sunglasses, and like it was like crazy. I was like, dude, you're playing football today. Like, what are we doing? And so it became this like funny play on that like, well, I'm going to coach that way. And so we kind of started with our social media team at San Jose State, awesome people back there. And so I had a pair of like, Oakley blades, and we just started, and our players thought it was the funniest thing ever too, because they were like, Swaggy B, when are you coming out? And so I was like, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. And so it became a fun thing for the guys on our team also. And so I think you put so much time and effort into this, and this is something I haven't said enough today. Players, coaches, staff, everybody, you put so much time into this. Like if it's not fun, you're dead wrong. Like, you have to find ways to make it fun. You have to find ways for it to be enjoyable, for the journey to be enjoyable. And so Swaggy B was part of that at San Jose State. I can't believe you brought that up. That's amazing.
It's the important stuff.
That's right. That's right. Well, obviously it had an impact. It's just like still coming up a couple years later.
Coach Greg Foley, ABC 15 in Phoenix, in the back. You're hitting the ground running, obviously, January 17th. Trying to get a staff together, trying to find a place to live, trying to figure out where you are in the elevators and where you're going out. What about recruiting? Where are you at? I mean, do you feel like you're behind the eight ball a little bit recruiting?
I think there's so many things that have changed recruiting fundamentally, starting with the early signing day, right? The early signing day, most people are done, right? Like, even at San Jose State, where, when we weren't going to be able to pick at the, have first pick, like we were still mostly done. And then philosophically there at San Jose State, we also changed, we would go into spring practice and we would always save 4 to 6 scholarships because we would want to go through spring practice and say, like, hey, it looks like we're not good enough at, this position, and so we need to go find one. Now the avenues to find them are much better because you have the portal, you have junior college football, and you have high school. And because people are recruiting so heavily in the portal, you have a bunch of really good high school players that, like right now, when we get back on the road, the players, the assistant coaches in January and in spring recruiting are always come back to me and they're like, you won't believe this kid. He's at so-and-so high school and he has nothing. And then you're watching the film. I think there's a real opportunity to upgrade your roster because people are not recruiting high school and junior college players as heavily as they were. Everyone's so focused on the portal.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everybody here.